Standing tall in the heart of Córdoba, the Bell Tower is more than a landmark. It's a time capsule shaped by centuries of faith, power, and conflict. Originally a minaret during the city's Islamic Golden Age, it later transformed into a Christian bell tower as history shifted hands. Today, it offers some of the best views in the city, but getting to the top may be a bit of an effort for some. Your journey to the top begins with wooden stairs. These are newer and easy enough to climb, but then come the old stone stairway, narrow, worn smooth by centuries of feet. There's only one railing on the left, so take your time. It's not exactly treacherous, but keep your eyes on the stairs and pay attention to those dips in the middle. The day I went, my arm was still in a cast and I found it a bit tricky. Halfway up, look around. There's a mosaic dome restored to its former beauty and three small elegant archways in the style of the mosque. These details connect you to the tower's original design as a minaret. They're a quiet reminder of Córdoba's layered history, blending Islamic and Christian influences. At the top, you'll find two levels of bells. The first level is where the massive bells hang. On Sundays, the tower is closed until later in the afternoon and the big bells take center stage. They ring throughout the day between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., calling the faithful to Mass. Whether you're there to hear them or just take in the view, the bells are a constant, punctuating the history and soundscape of the city. Then there's the second level with the smaller bells, which ring every Monday through Saturday at 9:30 a.m. They mark the end of the free entry period to the cathedral, which is from 8:30 to 9:30, and once it's over, this beautiful sound announces the shift. Interestingly, the use of bells in religious practice was something the Muslims did not adopt. In Islamic tradition, bells were avoided and calls to prayer were made through the sound of a muezzin's voice, calling from a minaret, like the one originally housed in this tower. The sound of the adhan, the call to prayer, replaced what we now think of as the bell's role in Christian traditions. So when the Christian Reconquista took place and the mosque was converted into a cathedral in the 13th century, the addition of bells was one of the significant Christian alterations. The bells, so prominent today, are an iconic feature of the tower, representing the shift from the Islamic world to the Christian era in Córdoba. As you look out from the bell tower, you'll notice the cathedral's rooftops peeking out from the mosque's vast, intricate arches below. This visible contrast tells a fascinating story of how two worlds came together. What you see today is a dramatic blend of architecture. The mosque itself, built in the 8th century, was one of the largest and most impressive in the Islamic world. The tower, originally built as part of the mosque in the 10th century, became a bell tower after the Christian Reconquista in 1236. It's a building shaped by two religions, two worldviews, and countless generations of craftspeople. When the Christians conquered Córdoba in 1236, they decided to construct a cathedral right in the middle of the existing mosque. This took centuries. It really would have been easier to start from scratch and settle for building a church next door. But no, they inserted one right into the heart of the mosque, literally and symbolically. Although a fairly common sight in Córdoba, when you're here only for a few days, it's a special occasion when you catch a procession winding through the streets below. Córdoba's processions are deeply rooted in tradition and faith, often tied to Catholic observances. These events typically feature ornate floats, carrying statues of saints or the Virgin Mary, accompanied by music and solemn processions of penitents in traditional robes. And while some processions are specific to Holy Week, Semana Santa, others celebrate local saints, feast days, or significant moments in the Christian calendar. Looking down at the rooftops, you can see the contrast between the delicate arches and the towering spires of the cathedral. It's a reminder of how this building has always been a site of transformation, shaped by the hands of both Muslims and Christians over the centuries. As you descend from the tower, make your way through the serene courtyard of orange trees. The fragrant scent of orange blossoms fills the air, and the tranquil courtyard offers a peaceful contrast to the bustling city outside. Standing here, next to someone who matters, you can't help but feel the weight of history and the beauty of the moment. Whether you're here for the romance, the history, or simply the view, this is a place that invites reflection, a chance to pause and feel connected to something greater.